Hey, it's Shop Talk, baby. This is the show where it's okay to be you. We're talking from Yale to jail and from the church house to the pimp house. Nothing's excluded on Shop Talk. So if you don't have a phone, I suggest you borrow one. Call in and voice your opinion live every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Yeah, that's right, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Don't forget to Shop Talk with your girl, because right here, we keeps it real. Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. How's everybody doing?
Good morning. Good.
It's a lovely Saturday. Well, what is it? Good morning, almost afternoon. That's what my grandmother used to say. I'm like, okay. So, how was everybody's weekend? Or week? I keep saying weekend. Like, mine start. This is my work day. Maybe that's it.
Oh.
Look, Monday through Friday. Look. Monday through Friday is the weekend for me. And then coming on today is my work week. Like, that's what I'm like, how's everybody's weekend? Pay me no mind.
Well, the week was lovely here. We've had 80-degree weather all week.
Okay.
So, and of course, the rodeo is still going on.
The rodeo in Texas?
Yes, February 28th to March 19th.
That's a long rodeo.
Yeah, every year, and they have something every single day. Last Friday was Black Heritage Day.
Okay.
And when I say they come out, we eat stars, everything. So next year, y'all gonna have to make it a plan to come down here so we can go to Black Heritage Day. And we can do the podcast from there.
We can definitely do that.
Yes.
That sounds fun.
Yes, maybe we can, I can find out who I need to contact to get on for next year.
Don't worry about that. I know I got my people with you. Yeah, don't worry about it.
All righty then.
I ain't new to this. I'm true to this.
2024.
Okay. I can get a press pass. I have access. All right.
Well, we do it. That's the date for next year. The end of Black Heritage Day.
Listen, if the weather is doing what it need to do.
Yeah, it was beautiful last Friday. Woo!
It was beautiful in California. It snowed today. I'm like, they talking about it don't rain in Southern California. Okay, but it snows.
It don't rain, but it snows.
Let's call up Tony, and let them know. Listen here, y'all said it don't rain. It's snowing, but I guess it's still the truth. Yeah, right. Little drizzle.
Yeah, okay.
So, what about you, AmberDee? How was your week? Anything exciting?
Good. No, work.
I said anything exciting?
No, I don't have nothing exciting going on. Just the same. I'm hoping something exciting will happen, but that's TBD.
Okay.
So,
to be determined for my listeners that may not know. It's all good. I got them. Good. I got them. Good morning. Shop Talk. Are we awake? Listen, I gotta ask you this question for either one of you guys who know, like for the dating sites. I want to get this out of my head. For the dating sites, now are they still credible, or is it certain ones that people need to go to? You know what I mean? What is the best preference? Like, if you decide, listen, I never did this before. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm 35 years old, and I just want to meet somebody new.
Black People Meet is a good one.
Is that all black people on there? Because, our listening audience, we pro-black, but we are not anti-white. So is this a white people on there?
Latinos and a very few white people that filter through, but for the most part, it's black. They're all black, and they make everything very is secure.
Okay. Secure. Okay. AmberDee?
I've been on several different sites, and I would say that it's like real life. You wouldn't necessarily trust a stranger you met in a grocery store. You got to get to know them, keep your wits about you. But for the most part, people are pretty decent on average. That's just an average. You can still come across
But so which site? Which site is preferred? Like I said, brand new. Who?
You said you just okay. So this person just wants to meet somebody new. I would say I've had the best experience on Bumble. So
who?
Bumble.
Oh, like a bumblebee?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like a bumble. The bees are bumbling.
Okay.
Bumble. Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot about them.
Mm-hmm.
So you said blackpeoplemeet.com and you said Bumble. Okay. I looked on there just to try to help out. That is like writing a paper. I done been in school too long. I'm on.
But you know what? As someone who's been online dating for like years at this point, it's helpful and it's annoying when you have to answer or ask the same questions. Where it's like if you just put it on your profile, we can skip to something more meaningful than like, are you employed and do you work? Like, I shouldn't have to ask that every single time. That gets real old. Like, you having a job shouldn't be a secret. Like,
but would you put that you have a job on there the way that everybody be calling jobs and somebody get upset, then the person is terminated, so they may have met look, when they started on there, made their profile, they had a job, but then they met somebody who had a problem and they didn't call the job and now they unemployed because some upset person decide they're gonna call the job to get them fired.
But you're not your actual company, but the industry you work in. You know what I'm saying? Or that you're employed or whatever. Then there's other sites that are like, I'm trying to think of like, they're like elite dating, stuff like that, where that's a part of the profile. And then you have to pay a subscription fee as well. So, I mean, it's really just what you're looking for. But I will, as far as like making it feels like writing a paper, if you are on there long enough, you will see the value of having a profile because you can just skip a lot of stuff if you just put it out there. Because if someone's like, well, he's really handsome and he's great, but he's a smoker. And I'm like, ooh. That if they wouldn't took the time to put that on their profile that they're a smoker, you could just skipped it and moved on to somebody else.
Black People Meet, they do that. I mean, you can pay a subscription, you can be free, but you can't answer nobody or whatever. But like they put if you're a drinker, if you're a smoker, you know, they ask what your interests are, things like that. I mean, you don't have to put anything else but that. And like a lot of people be like, if you want to know more, ask, you know, reach out and ask me. You know, I'm an open book. Whatever, but yeah, that you.
But are they an open book if they didn't put it out there?
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
And I feel like to me, it's just laziness. You're just lazy. You can't take it. So you're not serious. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
It's just like because it's like, if you're genuinely looking, like you don't want to waste your time. Like so, if you but if you're a time waster, then.
I wouldn't say that either because, you know, now that people are crazy. So a lot of people are apprehensive about putting a lot on their page. So, I mean, people are crazy, period. Like you said, you could walk past somebody and meet them in a grocery store. And they'd be just as crazy as Betsy Bug. I'm dating myself now. But anyway, hey.
Betsy Bug. Yes. Betsy Bugs means no.
I used to hear my grandma.
I know what that is. I know that saying.
I was like, I don't know what it means, but obviously they must be crazy then.
Okay, we got that. Context clues.
Seriously. So, yeah.
But I feel you don't have to put sensitive, it's not like you're putting your social security number or your address.
Right.
Just be your interests. And then things like that, just so they can get to know you. And then also, I would say, like, the most critical stuff, like, we talked about this before, like, whether you should put you have kids on your dating profile or not. And I think you should.
A lot of people do.
Because it's just like, I actually just was talking to a dude, and he didn't put it on his profile. He's like, well, I just made my page, and I didn't finish it. I didn't even respond, because I was like, bruh, but you put other information on there. I didn't even tell him that.
So you got to, okay, you have to figure out a determining factor as far as, like, am I being totally open or am I not? Am I being safe or am I being unsafe? Because if I'm putting all this, that means I'm putting all this information out here to strangers. Well, what do you get to know?
I think there's a lot more to a person than their resume. You know, where they went to school at, if they're employed, you know, what they want for the future. There's so you're doing the same thing. I'm going to interview you. Like, okay, your resume is good.
And that determines if we're going to get the interview or not.
Exactly.
I will tell you this though.
Go ahead.
The real credible websites, a lot of them will ask you, like, if you want to do like the verified. So like if you go on people's profiles, some of them it'll say verified and it'll have a check or whatever they do, because these websites, they want a picture of your driver's license. They need you to do like a selfie saying something so that they can make sure that it's you and you're not catfishing anybody.
Exactly. I forgot which site it is, but it has like a face scanner, and it's like take a picture right now, and the face scanner is going to analyze it, compare it to the other photos on your page to make sure you're not catfish.
I know black people do this like
helpful. That. Yeah, I think that is helpful for sure. And I feel like with those efforts in place, and as we progress with technology, it's pretty valid. It's pretty legit. I've been catfished like twice. But most people are, they're themselves. They're not, using other people's pictures or whatever.
What do you mean you've been catfished? So somebody has somebody else's photo up?
Yeah, like Nigerian scammer type. Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Prince.
They're good for
You was catfished by Prince. I'm about to go. I'm hanging up. They didn't know they wasn't up on what happened in America. Prince set up okay, wait, let me be politically correct. The artist formerly known as, and you was like, let me see. Oh, okay, he looked like the old Prince.
They even are getting good to, I told y'all, like, I had an actual video call a couple times with this person, and I'm looking at the person who's in the pictures. Come to find out, it was not that person.
See, that's what I'm saying. So putting all your information out there, I'm not opposed to that, and I just look at it as like a safety net, because otherwise you already know what we gonna do. Because if you give me just this amount, I'm gonna go and do my research. So then I'm gonna be on all the social media, checking it out, getting all that extra stuff, and looking at photos. And the other question that was asked to me was, when you look at photos, does photos help determine if it's somebody that you would want to date?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, it's probably number one.
Okay.
Like, because I think men and women are very visual. So your photos are like really, really important. But then the other stuff matters too. And I think it also depends on what the woman is. I'm assuming this is a guy. I don't know why. But it's this guy person asking. The other stuff matters. But for some women, the other stuff doesn't matter. I think that there's a lot of women looking for casual relationships.
I agree. And there's more men out here now, statistics show, that want to settle down, and the women don't.
Child, listen.
Oh, this is a confessional. Let me go behind the curtain. Go ahead, Sister Nick. Sister Nick, go ahead.
First thing out of my mouth. I just want casual dating. I want the friends with benefits. And Mr. said he was ready to settle down. Like, dude, come on. I'm still trying to get out of a marriage. I'm not ready to talk about that settling down yet. I just want to be friends with benefits.
Okay. Now, if you stick true to what you want, I think that's a good thing. It's when we tend to go that direction, and it's like, okay, whatever you like. Let's take it back to Coming to America.
Right.
Ooh, child,
and then we waver, and then the problem, you go into something that you didn't want to go into, but it's okay for the guy to be like, no, I'm not trying to settle down. And here again, we agree to that too. And then we decide to change our mind and fall into this. And then it's like, okay, wait, then next thing we know, we like Tiger Woods' ex-girlfriend, where he didn't change the locks on her trying to sue. Now women,
listen, she wrong.
So is that crazy or what?
But I feel like this: if your name ain't on the deed or on that lease, girlfriend, you ain't got a leg to stand on. Period, point blank in the conversation. Was he wrong? Yes.
Wow!
But
how?
Allegedly, he was
I don't blame him. Like, I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows the dynamics of what really happened. Only her side of the story. So it's her side, his side, and then there's the truth.
No. Okay, her side, his house, his side, his truth.
Oh, I agree with that part.
His truth. Like, come on now, because you're not about to walk up on you. Listen, incorrect grammar, improper grammar. I'm about to. You not about to be in my house, okay? And we don't go together no more. I do not like you. And then I change the locks on my establishment, and you want to sue me. Yes. Sorry, mother.
I wholeheartedly agree. But, and like I said, we don't know. He probably did tell her, you got to go. And she, how some of them Karens are. I ain't going nowhere. You said that we had an agreement that I could stay here for at least.
At that time.
If it wasn't in writing,
well, see,
you ain't got a leg to stand on.
Okay, here's the thing. I think she feels like I helped nurse you back. Alleged. Okay, let me put that out there for the listening audience. Alleged. Let me put this down here for the other people. Don't come after me. Content is alleged on these hot topics, okay? Now, she allegedly was the one that nursed him back when he got in a car accident or truck accident, whatever accident it was. So it's almost like that Waiting to Exhale. Was that Waiting to Exhale?
No, that was
that wasn't Stella Got Her Groove Back. I can't keep up. Where she
that black woman.
Who?
Diary of a Mad Black
Oh no, you on Tyler Perry. I'm on
that wasn't none of them. I know what you talking about. Misery. Boom.
Misery. Oh God.
She trapped him though.
No, like, that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about listen. The movie I'm talking about, because y'all off the hook, they gonna be like, what kind of movies have you watched? Listen, I'm stuck on Lifetime. Y'all all into it. But I'm talking about the one where the woman walked out. Remember, she set her husband's place on fire. She fixed them all up, his whole office and his business. And it was one of them. It's one of those.
Waiting to exhale.
Y'all, so I was right. Waiting to exhale. See, breathe. See, she was just waiting to exhale. Y'all like, Misery. Mad Diary of a Mad Black Woman. They mad up over here.
And that nurse took him back to her cat, found him.
I know all of that. We ain't talking about that. That was crazy. That was straight up crazy. Diary of a Mad Black Woman. She mad. Waiting to Exhale just sounds a little better.
She set that car on fire with all them clothes.
Now see with that, I'm just saying this girl, Tiger's ex-girlfriend, alleged, was like, I done helped you out, and then you gonna just change the locks on me now. I don't have a place to stay. And I'm just looking at it from another angle. However, somebody crazy, how you gonna sue this dude because you stayed in the crib? Girl, listen, let me give you male 101. If you staying with somebody like this, you already know his track record. You got his resume. His resume is for public knowledge. You know he cheat on people. Stack your chips, honey. Boom, boom, boom. For the time that he may say, hey, and get yourself a nice plush apartment that he sees, because the end result will not be the same. You won't be together, but at least you got a roof over your head, and he paid for it without him knowing. See, that's how you do. You work, ladies. You work, you have your money, and if your dude say, do you need, you always need. Are you hungry? You're always hungry. Would you like to eat? Absolutely, 110%. Put yours in the bank, spend theirs. Then that way, irreconcilable differences, you won't have nothing. But I see you, the money that I accumulated in this relationship was spent at the restaurant. Okay? Month's rent, that was like years ago. That's gone. My money is put aside.
Child,
that's how you got to do that. Okay. Class dismissed.
Spends the money good. $142 for my birthday dinner. Thank you. I like that.
Girl, the way the economy is, I ain't gonna say that, but let me dismiss class properly. Go ahead, get to your next class. Go ahead, get to your next class. I don't want you late. But what you want to do, I mean, see, Nick, you jumping right into the topic. The tips. But we going to hold on to that, okay? Hold right on to that. I want to know what you lovely, but what time? Oh, we got a few seconds. Okay. The Mexican guests. The Mexico guests. Is that what we call them? Let's dive into this real quick. We're talking about the 4 people that went to Mexico. Let me say this. One of them didn't have the right paperwork, so they got dropped off. And I'm wondering, y'all drove all the way up from South Carolina? Was she stuck at the border, or did y'all go back, drop her off, and go, was she just come on? She was blessed. I ain't going to lie on that one.
Woo!
Drop me off. I just sit here and wait. How long this going to take for this here? Alleged. See, content is alleged for the lovely people watching.
Oh, so there was actually 5 of them that went?
Yeah, but the one, she didn't make it over because her
thank God.
information wasn't right. That's what I said, to get this alleged tummy tuck. Now, I'm just speaking. I'm not discrediting them. None of that. I just don't know none of, and y'all know I rock with the dudes. My closest friends are guys. I don't know none of them that will be like, all right, man, I'm going to come with you to get a tummy tuck, a BBL with this. First of all, let me be clear. I am not getting medicine from Mexico. I was in Mexico, and I left my insulin in America. Baby, I was praying that whole week because they was like, oh, you can get insulina across the street. I will not. Okay, as a type 1. Baby, listen, talk about starving. And I was margaritaing it up. Virgin margaritas, to be clear. So that was like juice, a slushie. And then I realized, oh my gosh, my insulin bag, my whole little kit, I left it on the bed and didn't pack it. Listen, water. I was drinking the water, though. Nervous about that, but I was drinking it. I was like one or the other. Relax. No stress, water, no carbs. I had to buckle down this was it. To go and get a surgery done over there. No ma'am, no sir. No sir, no ma'am, no ham. None of that. Bye. But I don't know any other dudes that I, chill with and be like, all right, I'm going to come unless they come in as what? Security?
And you see what happened. Dead.
Okay. All right. Yeah, they unfortunately passed away.
Yes.
Two of them. But I just feel like it's something more. Like when I was listening to it, because first it was coming to get medical supplies, and the medical supplies are expensive here. So would some chance it? They probably would. And I was vibing with. I said, yeah, like blood pressure pills. You just don't know. Some people don't know, but traveling from South Carolina to Mexico in a vehicle, my friends would be like, girl, bye, we'll pay for you a trip. I just, no, who's riding that ride?
No,
And I'm being facetious, for a 30-day supply of some blood pressure pills or something. I'm going to go with the first story that they said. Go ahead, AmberDee, what you got?
Yeah, I agree. That doesn't make a lot of sense, and I feel like this reminds me of the when people do what's it called? I guess budget or bargain traveling, and it's like you don't even have enough funds to get there or stay there, and then you don't have enough for an emergency or any type of contingency plan. It just seems really irresponsible and dangerous. And unfortunately, costing their lives or whatever. But I don't understand how people can go to a foreign country on a shoestring.
Girl, foreign country. How about the people that be moving and you be like, now with $20, talking about, oh, I gotta move. In the same look across town. I'll be like, oh, you can't. Okay. Anyway, back to the topic. Those be the ones that be moving and getting it done. Those are those people. But I just thought it was just a little strange because I'm with you, AmberDee, on that. It's like if you travel all the way there for a tummy tuck, you can't ride that back. Like I would be looking, from a medical standpoint, I would be looking like, right. What if something happens? If it's infected, you come back, and most surgeons are not going to touch what another surgeon did.
First of all, exactly. And first of all, with the tummy tuck and the BBL and everything, you can't go anywhere. They expect you to stay there for at least a week or two.
Maybe they thought it was a vacation.
Get massaged and everything else. So, and they have to set you up to be able to travel back. So you're not going to be traveling anywhere for at least a week, if not two. So there's more to that story. But I was in a group and some girl posted, because she said she's in a group with that chick, a Facebook group, and she was talking about this BBL. Said she was excited. She was going back in the group posting
BBL or tummy tuck. What are we doing? See, I'm so confused.
It was the BBL.
Okay. Oh, how she gonna sit for that long to drive back?
BBL, a lot of people, they do get the lipo and the because they have to do the lipo because they got fat,
right?
Okay,
right.
Pull from one to the other. Okay.
Obviously, the girl was going for that BBL because she's been posting about it forever. But I think there was a little bit more to it also.
With the guys?
With the guys. Because you're going to bring your girlfriend with you to help you out or whatever. You ain't bringing a man.
Well, I actually watched this content creator who her platform is all about cosmetic surgery. And she did say...
We got to get this show started. Pin that. Let's get it going. All right. All right, welcome to Shop Talk with Mel. We had to do our little quick hot topics at the top of the hour. All right, so we talked about Tiger's ex. We talked about dating on what is that? Online dating. What is that? Is that what that's called? Online dating. Okay, and we talked about the Mexico 4. They probably about to say that. I don't wrote it like that. Like that's a shame. The 4 that went to Mexico for surgery, cosmetic surgery. And so you guys have to rewind it after the show. Go back to the beginning if you're just jumping on. And AmberDee, you were saying, what about that part of the cosmetic surgery?
Oh, okay. So I follow this lady on YouTube and her platform is about cosmetic surgery. And she was saying that for a lot of her major surgeries, her husband was there to nurse her after surgery, but that was her husband.
Exactly.
And one person.
Financing her surgeries too. So I'm like, well, actually, he could have been there to take care of her after the surgery. It's possible, but I think it's unlikely.
Three other guys?
Yeah.
There is something more to it. She probably was going for that surgery. But when her homeboys found out, they probably was like, oh, yeah, we can go over there, get the good stuff and bring it back. I guarantee you that's why they made that drive instead of her flying.
Okay, the views of Nick the Voice is the views of Nick the Voice. All the content here is alleged, just to be on the safe side. But we don't keep our opinion. We're keeping our opinion. And I just think something else is going to come out of it. I will say that if you look at it, what they're talking about, like with the medicine, the surgeries, all that, it shows that there is an issue. And there's a lot of people, and we know even during COVID, that there's a lot of people who went out of the country to have surgeries done.
Well, and then also
at a cheaper rate.
This is not like some kind of new phenomenon. Americans traveling for medical tourism, sex tourism, whatever, and then getting got or taken advantage by the locals, that's nothing new. I mean, honestly, it's been going on since people have moved from place to place. So it does seem like there's more to it than that.
It's just my
Wait,
Go ahead.
Have y'all seen on Facebook? Turkey is even getting on. Somebody is posting on Turkey, is posting on Facebook that you can get a BBL and other things done, other surgeries done in Turkey. Girl, I was the first one that blasted on there, and I had commented and was cracking up like that would be a H-node, H-E-double-I-6 note for me. Girl, do you know they deleted my comment?
I mean, well, it's good for the country to boost their economy. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if it's a tourism-based economy. But
I don't know too many people that go to Turkey like that to visit. I mean, it might be a few, but they posted on Facebook about coming to Turkey to have a surgery. Really? Like, and I was like, no. And I said something to along the lines of the way folks are harvesting people's organs nowadays. That would be a hell no for me. And it got deleted. So I'm gonna go back on there and I'm gonna say it again.
That's their page. Quit harassing those people, Nick.
What's the truth?
That's their page. They're trying to promote their page, and you over there harassing them. Listen. You people had a right to delete the negative comments if you trying to make a come up. That's it. But okay. Well, we got the information. Let's go. You want to go with that comment, AmberDee?
Sure. So Courtney Johnson of Facebook said tummy.
Okay, so tummy. Okay, so I was right. Tummy tuck, not the BBL. Okay, so I was on it. Thank you. We appreciate that. Love the shop talkers. Now let's touch base real quick before we get on these tips, because I'm telling you, you know I'm on these tips. I got a problem with these tips. Today's topic. Selective outrage. Chris Rock's Netflix special, his live Netflix special. Now I'm gonna say this first. Just to put this out here, he gave a disclaimer at the beginning as well, where he said that he will offend some people. He's sure he's going to offend some people. Now, I like Chris Rock. I've always liked Chris Rock. Let me put that out there. And to me, what he gave, I like comedy though. What he gave was like a live bar set, so to speak. Like if you go to comedy clubs and you're at the bar. So it wasn't a family. You know, it wasn't a church picnic, a cookout. It was a bar stand-up comedy set, from my opinion. All right. Go ahead, Nick. I seen the eye roll. Listening audience, Nick, the voice, them gave the eye roll, so let's rock with it. Go ahead, girl.
I didn't see it. I was busy.
Oh, well, why you gonna eye roll on it?
But I heard about it, and I'm like, why you wait a whole year to say something, dude?
See? Selective outrage, to his point. Why not wait a whole year to talk about it?
I ain't even gonna lie, y'all already know how I am. Y'all know Nick's voice, and I'm gonna tell you right now, that man wouldn't have made it off the stage if he'd walked up there and slapped me, because we've been rolling on the stage and we both got fired. Period, point blank, end of conversation. That is my view. That is the view of Nick the Voice and nobody else's. He wouldn't have made it off that stage. Period.
Okay. But he made it off because it was somebody different. Problem. Now I said it before and I'm gonna say it again. I appreciate that because it would have been a whole different show. Now, AmberDee, you want to go with yours because Nick didn't even see it, but she's going off of what everybody else said. So
I ain't want to see it.
But that's okay. Go ahead, AmberDee.
So I actually haven't seen it either. I don't plan on seeing it. And it's just, like, I would anticipate, I've heard things about it, good and bad. And then I just feel like I'm opting not to support him.
Okay. Now, here's what's interesting. I saw it because I like Chris Rock. If you watched it to see him give a response to Will Smith, you don't like comedy. I'm going to say that. You don't like him. I watched it to see him. Like I've seen outrage. I just love his comedy. So I watched it for that. Did he talk about Will Smith the whole set? Not at all. And it's silly because you had so many people watching it focused on that they missed all of the funny. He gave you a smidget. And here's the thing. He was assaulted. So, okay, this is me. You got victims out there. He was the victim because he didn't respond when y'all thought he should have responded. Yeah, I'm saying it. Just as a whole, because he didn't respond when y'all thought he should have responded, does that negate the fact that he was assaulted?
No, not at all.
Now watch this. Now to say why he waited a whole year. Here's my thing. If you know me, now, and I'm going to speak to Nick on this one. Nick do pop off, but if you hurt her bad, she going to sit back and brew and think. And you don't know when it's coming. So I'm surprised she even said that. Okay? Now, I know my personality and people who know me, if you do me wrong, I cut off. I'm done with you. Bye. See ya. It's over. Sorry. You apologize whenever you make up a lie on me. Guess what? Apologize. I accept your apology, but you won't get the opportunity to do it again. I am that person. Okay? Now I forgive you, but you won't. It's never going to be the same because there's a trust thing going. You know, that's my thing. Now, when he did that stand up, if you watch it, it's hilarious. It ain't even really about Will Smith. And then you had the nerve for people to be like, oh, he called her a B. I can say her name. Will, he didn't tell me to keep his wife's name out of his mouth. He told Chris Rock to do that. So he did just that. And people are upset. Now, if you go to, if you watch a nightclub set, that's just like a norm. So you mad that he called her a B. He was actually calling Will Smith. But he didn't even call Will Smith. He said they called him a B. They. He was saying they. And then he said, but who's he hit? He hits me. Now, here's the thing. Your favorite rapper. Like, come on. Your favorite rapper ain't never called a chick a B? And then you kind of know, are they actually calling you to be? No. And so now you want him to respect. You want him to put some respect on, oh, she a black woman. Nope, hold on. You want him to put some respect on somebody who actually asked him to quit. She asked him not to host. He should quit the Oscars because her husband didn't get a job before. So that's what the riff was. Remember, it was a whole, you remember we talked about that, Nick? I think you were on Amber too during that time. It's like, it was a rift between him and her because remember she wanted to boycott the Oscars because her husband wasn't on there. But you asking a grown man to quit his job, so you mad at him anyway. No, that doesn't work because if it was my husband, I would be like, she running you too? Like, that's not going to work. So I had to say that part of it. Him responding the way he responded was very intelligent, very smart. I thought it was 20 million. I want to retract that. Remember I said 20 million last week? For the Netflix special, I think it was 40. Not sure on it, but I believe they're saying 40 million. Make it work for you. Make it work for you. You know what I'm saying? You want me to respond so you can hear this fight. I did not fight back the way that y'all thought because, Nick, you said it at the top. You was like, it would have been a different story. I would have hit back. He didn't fight back the way that we expected him to fight back. So do we expect him to, he should have came and said something a week after? He didn't answer the phone. He also stated this part. He said when he saw the whole entanglement, he reached out to Will to give him his condolences. He didn't answer the phone. So Will trying to call him to apologize. I'm supposed to answer the phone after you publicly humiliate me? No, I'm good on that. And now Will want to reach out now talking about he's embarrassed by his act. Hold on, you're not the victim, sir. And listen, I loved me some Will Smith. I did. But that right there, that expression of public affection, I'm trying to find the bright side of it, that was a no-go for me. That was a no-go for me. I was like, this is ridiculous. The way that Chris Rock ended his show, he said, you want to know why I did not hit him back? Because people were asking him that. Well, why didn't you hit him back? He said, because my parents told me not to fight in front of white people, and drop the mic. Every black person can relate to that. Because every time, think about when you were a child. Listen, I got lips didn't move. It was like, you better act right when we get in here. You don't. Come on now.
Child, listen. My mom did not mind if I embarrassed her. She didn't mind embarrassing me. Because I wore a purple nose many a day. Because she would grab me by my nose
and twist it,
walking, and keep right on moving. I did not tell, and like you said, did not tell you not to, and be leading me by my nose. So I always had a purple nose. So yeah, black parents didn't say that back in the day.
And this is true. You want to go with this comment?
Who?
Either. Go ahead, Amber.
Okay, so Courtney Johnson of Facebook said Will is much bigger and admits he would have lost the battle.
Absolutely. But you know what? Me personally, I would not have hit him back either, because the whole Oscars would have been ruined. The Oscars would have been ruined. But I got to say this part. It was funny. He was like, your ass didn't hurt. It still hurt. He was like, I had summertime ringing in my ear right now. Drums, please. I was screaming. I was like, you're right. And then he did say this part. He said, he played Muhammad Ali. I didn't audition for that role. He said, I played Pookie off of New Jack City. So, he is significantly larger. I just love the special. It was funny. If you are a fan of comedy,
I mean, I like Chris Rock.
There you go. I liked it, like Outrage. Some people would, if they saw Outrage, which was his other Netflix special, some people would have a problem with it. And then it was like, oh, he gears everything to white people. And that's the one thing they said about his last comment. Oh, he cares about what the white people think. This is factual. This is factual. In my life, I can relate to it, because when you go out in public, you don't act no fool out in public. Oh, no, you don't, because when you get home, you already know what it is. I got it. I totally got it. Some people felt like he went in too hard on the abortion, so that people were looking at it with a critical eye and not just comedy. He made this comment. I got it immediately. He said, talking about the abortions, he was saying how many abortions he paid for, blah, 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 blah. But he also said, ladies, if your man can't pay for an abortion, you should get an abortion. You get it?
I get it.
And I was rolling. So if he can't afford an abortion, he can't afford to help you raise this child for 18 years. Like, come on. And I thought that was funny. I was like, point taken. So pretty much stop letting broke dudes splurge. I gotta keep it all right.
Shoot up the club.
Yeah, shoot up the club. Yeah, stop doing that. You know what I mean? So he said something that you probably can resonate with, like, because you always say, AmberDee, no, I need to get something out of this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, but that's just me being protective of myself as a woman. But yeah, because I don't know if y'all saw the other gentleman that went viral on TikTok, I believe, where he has 7 kids by 7 different women, and he was blaming the women. It's a bad, I think definitely there's accountability on both people, like both people involved are losers and they're problematic and irresponsible, but it's also a bad look for them. Like, this is not a good look. If
you are young, I can't even say that now with all the contraceptives and all the information that's out here. It's a bad look on the female unless you were assaulted. If you were assaulted, if you were raped, something like that thing, then, and you happen to get pregnant, okay. But if somebody got 7 kids, and this is the young me. I looked, how many children you have? That was my question, so I'm not mad about the whole dating part that you said, AmberDee. How many children you got? Oh, I got 3. Oh, I already know. I don't care if you're a good father. And when you say that, tell me something, oh, well, I'm a good father. I'm there for my children. You're supposed to. So why is that a selling pitch? You're supposed to do that.
Right. And that's because it goes back to like this expectations of men are in hell, basically. And yeah, the woman is at fault.
Is it the expectation of the male or is it the expectation of the female?
Well, I'm talking just as far as like morals and character, like it's not singularly the woman's responsibility to prevent pregnancy because it takes two people to make a baby. Both people
who's sleeping with somebody with 1,000 children and they're not taking care of them.
Because I was thinking about this. Yes, she is wrong. And so what that changed, and this kind of parlays into passport bros, is that these men that are sleeping with these women that clearly have low self-esteem, struggle with self-worth and boundaries, you're a predator. You are preying on women that don't respect themselves. You think, well, you let me take advantage of you, so it's your fault. Yes, and it is her fault. But guess what? You're still a predator, and you're still a bad person as a man. Anybody who sees somebody who is less intelligent, less resourceful, less informed, and you're like, I'm going to take advantage of you because I can. You're still a bad person.
See, that's crazy. See, that's back to selective outrage. That's back to another part in his show where you're the victim, the victimizer turns into the victim. Like what you're saying, blaming the female, the male is the predator, and the female is in a vulnerable state. He takes advantage of it, and then the male wants to blame her. No, let the victim be the victim. Some people say they're not a victim, even if you know, yeah, you were the one that was assaulted. You are the victim regardless. But then you have somebody, back to this real quick, with Will Smith. Now he talking about he's embarrassed and everybody focused on that. Here he is again playing victim. Playing, oh, well, it was my upbringing that did this. You assaulted somebody. Regardless of how you look at it, you were the bully. The end. Now y'all can say victim, and I say victimizer. Use the term you were the bully. The end. AmberDee, you want to read that comment?
Sure. So Salvage of YouTube said, broke dudes don't deserve no blank. I know that's right. # sweetie. Exactly. But I think when women vocalize this, oh, you're a whore, you're a 304, you're this, you're that, because at the end of the day, there is a demographic, a section of men who want to get sexual access for little to nothing. They're not looking for reciprocation. They're not looking for equal give and take, or understand I need to contribute so she can contribute, whatever. They just want to take. And that's because they're predators. They have a predator mindset. They want to take, pillage, and plunder, and then run.
Okay, wait. 304. She said 304. Listen, Nick, we was on it. Listen, for the 304, that's when you had a beeper. Pager, sky pager. That's when you had a beeper. 304, that's a HOE, lovely people. Look, we both was like playing. I was like, hold on, I gotta address the 304. Okay, Amber D.
You don't know that. You know we here.
Right? Putting that in the pager. Boom, boom. 304. They knew what that meant. Billy.
So, I like I said, definitely the woman is at fault. Definitely, she clearly has some self-esteem, some boundaries, standards. There's some struggles going on there, right? To sleep with a man that already has multiple children.
And think it's going to be different, though. And think it's going to be different. That's the problem.
Now.
Go ahead. What you say, Nick?
I feel attacked now. No, for real. In my case,
I'm going in the corner.
Go in the corner. In my case, y'all, I'm getting ready to plead the fifth. Okay. In my case, I like sex, so I didn't give a rat's patootie as long as we protected. I will admit, I was the predator.
Go ahead, AmberDee, read the comment.
I'm not gonna
lie. Wait, Nick, she got to go to the comment.
Okay, so Courtney Johnson of Facebook said, I couldn't get to the phone fast enough. 304.
That was it, okay? That was it. Hey, if you want in on this conversation, feel free to do so. The phone number here is 619-902-2287, 619-902-2287. If you are watching on social media, that phone number is going across the bottom, or our lovely YouTube watchers that's watching now. We see you. We see you. So I want to just put this out here. He named the show just exactly what it was. He showed us. He gave you. He mirrored it. Selective outrage. So we are upset on this person, but but this person can do it. Selective outrage, doing the same exact thing, but we're mad. We got some that are mad at Chris Rock. I'm not. Do things your way. You were the victim, and you made money off of it. And I am not mad at you. It benefited you. Will, do your thing your way. Now you want to reach out and apologize after he ate you up, because he ate you up. Intellectually, he did it. I loved it. And he didn't make any.
Have Jada who don't give a rat's.
And guess what? He kept her out like, you did this. People called her a predator. Just as you said, Nick, y'all heard Nick. So if I say Nick a predator, she can't come over here slapping me. Let's put this out there because she said it right here. Okay. And I'm going to have this clip. I'm going to have this clip.
I said it first. I wasn't lying. Like, I was younger growing up. I just liked it. So, therefore.
You just liked what?
You got a condom? Okay.
I just had to have her play that back. She heard her. You got a condom? Okay. Okay. But see, here's the thing, though. At least you standing on what you stand on. And if you want to be in a relationship, you want to be in a relationship. If you don't, you don't. But I think at some point, you got to go to the table and say, okay, feelings are happening here. And it's a change in the game. Let's sit there and let's go back through the playbook and see if we're going to change some of these plays. Either we are or we are not. The end. And put up with it. But are females able to handle that? Well, I could say now, are men able to handle that? Because the men the ones crying now. They crying now. Y'all killing them, AmberDee. The dudes is crying now.
Be the ones that be crying now.
Yeah, I'm like, how did the role change?
Not only that, not only can they not handle it, but then they'll turn around and harm you. When you ready to go try some new D, now they want to kill that man, kill your kids, and kill you. So
it's probably look, the show True Crimes.
Okay.
Like, what happened? What happened? First 48 is ours. True Crimes is theirs.
Listen, they can't handle it.
Ours.
They cannot handle it.
They can't handle it.
But they can't take it because they can do it and think you're supposed to forgive them and forget, oh, that was it. But as soon as you do it, them mugs be ready to get a divorce.
Right. And I think that, what I would say, like the New York Times and a couple other reputable places, released some studies on the crisis of men, what's going on right now in modern, and this is not just in America, but in modern societies, Western societies. Like, men need to look at themselves and look in the mirror instead of just blaming women and feminism for everything.
I give the disclaimer to everybody I get involved with romantically, whatever. Listen, I am that ride or die chick. But if you do something and you get caught, best believe it's coming back to you. I know how to play the game. I'm the OG with it. I'll make you want to murder me. I'll tell them all that. And they be thinking I'm playing till it come around. Go ahead and get caught if you want to. Get caught a couple times. I'm going to let you keep playing. I'm going to give you enough rope to hang yourself. As soon as you hang yourself, I'm going out there. And case in point, I did. Now I'm getting ready to get a divorce.
Oh, Lord.
But I gave you the disclaimer beforehand. Do not do. I'm your ride or die chick, but you better not ever in your life cheat on me. If you feel like you're ready to step out and try something new, let's talk about it intelligently. I might be mad. I might swing on you. I might.
Why we gotta fight?
You might catch a hook, but at least I can respect you more for coming to me and having that conversation rather than going behind my back because you gonna be mad.
Wait a minute. Now listen, I let you go on and do your little thing, but you said if you gonna cheat on me, just come and tell me. I might swing on you. That's why they're not coming, honey. Nobody wants to fight because let's be real. You might, and she said it, you might swing on them. They go to try to block you, then you gonna call the police, and then we got another brother down.
If I swing on you first, I'm not calling the police. Shoot, I barely be worried about you calling them on me. But I'm just like, I'd rather have that conversation though. Like, all jokes aside, I'll probably be pissed, I'll probably cry, but I'm just gonna be like, whatever. But like, don't get caught, and then be dumb enough to get caught more than once after I done confronted you.
Well,
wait, Nick, we got a question for Nick.
I am a Pisces, boo. My birthday was 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, February 24th.
Oh, she's emotional, y'all.
Very.
For the listening audience, the head nod is happening. The head nod is happening.
It can go either way.
Look, the head nod is happening. Yeah. But let me check how this day gonna go. Let me check the 8 ball. Okay. Today is a good day.
Hey.
Hey. Okay.
I'm just putting that disclaimer out there, y'all. Listen, men, just be upfront with your women, period, point blank. If it comes to a time where you feel like she is not enough or you want to try something, be adult enough, be man enough to have that conversation. Period.
And come with your shield and helmet if you're dealing with Nick, because she gonna swing.
Women been saying this for decades, and I feel like it's not effective. And I feel like the real issue is, if you're feeling that way, don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. Because the root of it is they want to have their cake and eat it too.
Exactly.
They want both. Well, okay, it's understandable to want both, but that's not what. And that goes back to what I'm saying: a lack of integrity, a lack of morals, a lack of character. Like, don't be selfish.
Right. I mean, especially if you don't want the tables turned on you. And that's the thing. They want their cake and eat it too. But when the tables get turned, honey, them niggas act like, excuse me, y'all, I didn't mean to say that. Ding! Rip their whole soul out their body. What?
Okay, and guess what I found? Since you brought that up, I found that most black women who date white guys are promiscuous. Y'all be mad at me. I read this. I read it at 2 sites. They find that white men are more forgiving than a black man.
But isn't that what they say about black men who date white women?
Yes. Yes. So
whose study is that though?
Right. I'm gonna need.
Yeah, hey, whose study is it? Do y'all know whose study it is? Need we say something?
Melanated person.
Huh?
It sure ain't the melanated person.
Okay, then she know what she talking about. Look at her. Look at her. Girl, you got the 8 ball over there. She got the 8 ball. Get the ball out.
I need to get one. Let me see.
Yeah, let me see what it says. Shake it up. Shake it up. All right, lovely people. It is that time. It is time to address today's topic. What is the topic today? Tips. To tip or not to tip? That is the question. Let's get into it.
At a restaurant?
You already know. I'm the everywhere.
Well, I gotta just be the restaurant.
It's about to be a fight. We got customers. We should deal with the customers. Go. Come on. All right, tell me. Okay, let me answer the first question. Nick off the chain. Let me answer the first question. Do you believe tips are earned?
Yes, they are.
Okay. What do you say, Nick?
Yes, they are.
What do you say, AmberDee?
Yes.
Okay. So, why is it that people expect tips when they are rude? Or before the service?
Well, yeah, it's because it is a part of their. I would say it's part of American culture and a part of their financial structure of their business. So the staff is like really underpaid, I would say. So they're like really need the tip.
Is that our fault though?
No.
Well, it's your fault if you continue to support that establishment.
Okay. Nick, what you got?
No. You always want to give good service, especially if you're expecting a tip, because what you get paid, what the customer pays versus what you, the person that is actually providing the service, gets paid. it's nice to get a tip because it makes up for what the company is robbing the server of.
Okay.
I'm true testament of it. Driving my personal vehicle, the wear and tear that I have to come out of, the gas that I got to come out of my pocket for. Yes, that's the type of job. But it's nice to get a tip, and then you get those doctors.
But is that our fault? You chose that.
It's not your fault. But if you are expecting a certain service and you're getting that service, or we're going above and beyond for that service. And then let me tell you something.
But no, we need to have this conversation. But I didn't ask you to apply for that job,
right?
And it's
exemplary service.
I'm expecting that because that's what this job says it offers. So I paid. No, listen to me, and I'm gonna let you get yours. But if I'm using this service. This job says this is what I can get. I can get a ride here and there. We're gonna just talk about Uber, right? Lyft. Okay. I'm like, let me get a right person to shout out. So we're gonna talk about Lyft. If I say, okay, I need a ride, this is what they told me that I have to pay, and this is what I expect. I expect a ride. Now, if the driver decides to give me a bottle of water and all that, oh, this is lovely. I'm gonna use this company again, but I should not be expected to pay for the water that you decided to buy, the snacks that you decided to buy. I should not be, you can't charge me that unless you're saying just tax it on and add it on. Go ahead, AmberDee, and then I want you to reply, Nick.
I think it's just what a tip is supposed to be, gratuity. That's it. You know, if you're grateful for the experience, if you're able to give, you know, as they say in church, a cheerful giver, you know, and you want
don't get me started.
Practice what the Spirit has moved you to do, then go on ahead and do that. But the expectation, no.
Okay, now in customer service, and Nick has worked in customer service. Go ahead, Nick.
Okay, well.
Address my issue. I said you want to go out your way with the water. We know in the snacks.
You know what I mean? But you're doing that to make this person comfortable, and some of them do just because they will. You know, they kind of tell you like give exemplary service. You know, if you would like a tip, because some people will tip you if you have exemplary service. But in the contract. Your contract with the passenger and the contract with Lyft, you are just getting a ride. But see, I have had instances where these people think that I am their personal chauffeur, that they hired me, that I work for them. The devil is a lie. This is my car. Yeah.
Come on, tell me. Put me in my place.
The devil is a lie. And I've had to tell a couple of them.
No. Go ahead. You said this is your car?
Yeah, my car.
So why didn't you, sound like you need to have a staff meeting with the people at the Lyft that you don't want to use your car?
Listen, I mean, and I don't have to. They have rental services. But I got a car payment. I can't pay 2 car payments.
But guess what? That's not our fault as the consumer.
Nobody's saying it's their fault. What I'm saying is this is what it is. Your contract is for a ride from point A to point B, period, point blank.
Okay.
And that's it. But you're not going to get in my car expecting me to turn the air off, turn the air on, roll the window down, roll the window up. No, I want you to go this way. Can you do this? Can you do that? Okay. That's not a part.
Okay. So keep the windows up and just say no. And then do we grade you at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so do you
get to grade the rider?
Oh, and that's good. But why you don't have to be upset if somebody is hot and they want you to roll the window down, roll the window up, and can you turn the air on and all that extra stuff? I understand. But see, that's like a limo. That's like a limo service because that's how it is with the limo services.
From point A to B, it don't say nothing else in between. Just like you said, well, you using your car or you decide to give me water, that's not my problem. That's it. So therefore, you're just using me for a ride from point A to B. If you hot, cold, thirsty, your throat dry, whatever, that's not my problem.
No, it's not.
The contract says from point A to point B.
I agree with you.
It's like the public bus.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So it goes.
So okay, so Nick, we're not going to say use a company. So I'm just saying. So Nick, you like the public bus? Just if y'all could see me, go on, get in the back.
No,
take it to the back. Go.
I'm very nice.
I know that. I know that. But you got a problem with accommodating every single person. I'm just saying. Right. That's your argument. Not that you personally, but your argument.
I've had some people who think I was a sky cap. Oh, you're not going to put my bags in the trunk? Put your own bags in the back. Now, if it's an older person and I know their stuff is heavy, then yes, I get out and I...
Now that we agree on. Now, listen. Now that we agree on. I'm not I ain't putting your bags in the bag. She said the Skype, listen, remember the taxi cab drivers? I don't even know if they did that. But I know me, I will pop the trunk. There you go.
But
some of them are nice. At the airport.
I had this man and his wife. They was coming in from an international flight and I was taking them home. I pulled up and the guy was like, well, you're not going to put our bags in the bag. They got 50 million bags. I'm looking at him and I'm looking at his wife. I said, I don't do that. You're a whole man. How you asking me to put your bags in the bag?
It's classic.
And you my age.
What you say, AmberDee? Classic?
No, what?
Class list. Oh, okay.
Listen, they had all my back seat, and then they had the back seat. The wife he didn't even sit in the back with the wife because they had other bags back there, and they had my whole trunk full.
Okay, now wait. Okay, sound personal. Let's stick to tip or not to tip.
Them off though. I guess he appreciated my honesty because guess what? I got an $11 tip out of him.
Okay, and you said, now look, you sound like it was a fight. She said she got an $11 tip out of him. Did you have to fight for that tip?
No, I didn't expect it.
Look, AmberDee, was his pockets turned inside out? Did she rob him?
Right.
No.
You have to give me this tip, okay?
I'm always surprised.
I know, but you are a lot of fun. Which, to my point, I tip based off of personality. I actually tip off of personality. And I want to go to restaurants right now. I was asking, because I'm going to do the legwork. I was asking our waiter questions. So I needed some new and improved, versus, you can read all day long, but let me go ahead and talk to these waiters. So I was walking by and I asked her about her tips. And this was the question I asked. Do you have to split your tips at the end of the evening? Because there is a restaurant, I'm not going to name it, that at the end of the evening, they have to put all their tips together and split them. What's your thoughts on that?
That's bull.
Okay, go ahead, AmberDee.
I was at a major chain restaurant, and it's set up where you can see the cooks in the kitchen. And we went there and gone there regularly. And we ate our food, and it was popping, had little extra seasonings on it.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, she put her foot in it this time. Let me go ahead. I'm glad that the cook was able to get a tip, not just the server, because my server was trash. But she did say it was her first day, her first shift. And poor thing, she was sweating bullets.
They worked her so hard.
Working that baby so hard. You could tell she was so flustered and, poor thing. But she was terrible, honestly, And, but the cook was back in the kitchen was throwing it down. So I was like, I still gave them because I knew they split the tip. So I
see, and that's what I don't. Well, why can't you say, this is what I do. If it's really good, where's the cook? I want to meet the cook. And you tip the cook. Well,
and it was also, and I don't think she just wasn't experienced. You know what I'm saying? It was literally her first day. So I was just like, I'm not going to say it's because she's a bad waitress. It's just she was inexperienced.
Now, here's the thing. That's that everybody gets a trophy attitude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Call it what y'all want to know. Whatever. Listen here. She ain't getting no good tip. You'll learn and you'll get there. Because if you give it off of initiative, then they'll look like remember I told you that nurse just graduated nursing school and she sat next to me and told me she ain't working nowhere under $26 an hour. I said, I heard that. So you getting top dollar. Okay, you getting top dollar for trash. So you're only going to expect more. Somebody got to start at the bottom. What Drake say? Come on now. Somebody like, and then they come to you. I got you, Nick. Then they come to you and they say off top, hi, this is my first day. Guess what? That's not my problem. That's not my problem. You got hired. You're here. You applied for the position. It is not my fault that you get beneath minimum wage because they're looking for like $15 now to get minimum wage at least. But your fight is not with me. And then yesterday's conversation, I got you, Nick. Yes, write it down so that you don't forget it. Yesterday's conversation was, well, yeah, you know, you hope you get a tip, especially in today's economy, the girl said. I said, you just hit the nail on the head in today's economy. So why would you expect? Because now tips are up to 20%. And I told her when she said, I said 20%. I said the church is only asking for 10. God said 10% of your earnings. You asking for 20. I ain't even getting a blessing out of this, am I? So she started laughing. She was like, well, I guess. I said, and then you say the economy. Well, you understand that it is almost impossible for us to even come and support that. Or this establishment, as you stated, don't support the establishment. Now, what they have to do at the place I was at, they have to share their tips with the bar. Because if somebody ordered drinks, the bar mates and bartenders are making the drinks. Now, with all of them. Now, I was with the waitress I had yesterday because she said, if it's on our drinks, I get it. I'm okay with that because they made my drink specifically, but to make everybody's drink. Then the bus boys. So you got to split it with the bus boys and the cook. Well, hold on. The restaurant would not be if they did not have a cook. And if you're the person, because you know the waitress, they get the brunt of everything. Good, bad, whoever does wrong, that's the face that we see and we complain to. I don't think it's okay for you to go and apply for a job and be upset with me and expect me to pay your wages. Y'all need to have a staff meeting or don't work at that place. Go ahead, Nick. What you have?
I've actually, because I know how they do with the tips. They make you split them or they make you report them as part of your earnings, even though they're, but I told you before, I've been up to a place where they actually added the tip on and then turned around on the bill on my total and then turned around and had a little spot that said gratuity. And I looked and I was like, the gratuity is the tip. Y'all not getting the extra tip out of me for what? Then what I did was, because that girl's service was all that and then some, I turned around because they charged me $8.25 for the tip, then asked for a gratuity, which they did not get. Then I turned around and I gave that girl $10, but I slid it to her and I said, come here. I was like, she was like, I don't know why they do that. I said, that $8.25, that is gratuity. They think they slick. I said, but this $10 is for you. Don't report it. I said, because I know how you got the waitresses and waiters have to report because I was like, this is for you. Put it in your bra. Put it in your drawers.
Oh. Nick telling her to be dishonest. I hope that baby wasn't 16.
No. She's a grown woman.
But I get it.
Forever. I was like, don't let them know I gave you this extra 10.
Well, and I get that because this is what I do. I'll pay the bill with my credit card and I'll put the tip on there, especially when you find out that they got to split the whole tip. You get the bare minimums on there. There you go. Split that. And then you give them cash over here. So split that part. Here's the cash. I think it's so unfair. That you're doing all that work and you're waiting on someone. So you're doing all that work and you don't get tipped. Now, what about the drive-through or the pickup and it has tip and they want to hand it to you?
No.
So, like, if it was all, come on now, they got self-checkout, so it's probably about to be exactly what I'm saying. Like, if you could just say, I could just punch in and pick my own stuff up. Why do I feel obligated or guilted into giving you a tip?
No, and I don't. because you brought me what was I mean. But then again, I can see because there's like the servers in the drive-thru. They got to hand you your food just like when you're in a restaurant, the server brings you your food. But no, I don't.
Okay, come on, AmberDee. I need you to weigh in on this.
I don't know if I don't want to say a major chain's name, but it's a Bell, and they have you can place your order. They have a kiosk right at the front door. Some of them, the updated ones,
they all do.
You place your order, like you know what I'm saying, like you punch it into the screen, and
like
then
I said,
you come and pick it up. And what am I giving tip for? No. And I think as we move more and more into automation, tips are not going to happen. And I feel like, to be completely honest, like a lot of like the tipping positions or whatever, it's like you're at the bottom. Like these are a lot of people who are struggling financially, and they're a step away from, you know, getting phased out with all these machines.
Now, yeah. So that's why I don't do the machines. I'll stand in the line long as I'll get out before I go to a machine. But a lot of people don't understand that, you know, you're looking like, oh, I don't want to wait, or impatience, like the microwave society is causing people to lose their jobs. Now, here's my thing. You said that they're struggling. Most people, if you have enough money, if a dinner, and we know dinners don't cost us, but I'm just using it. If a dinner is $10 and you want to take your children out, I'm going all the way back. You want to take your children out for a dinner, and then you have to pay the waitress. How many times has it been where you're like, okay, I want to go out, but I would rather do a carry out because I can't afford the tip and I don't want to look like a scumbag? How many times have we not gone out because of that? And then 20%, look, 20%, like you said, birthday dinner. And you're like, I want to take my girl out, or I want to take my guy out for his birthday and have this amazing experience, but the tip is so high. 20%? 20?
I always thought 20% was a real good, strong tip, but now it's becoming the base.
That's the base.
No, they still have, it used to be 10, 15, and 18. Now it's 15, 18, and 20.
Well, yesterday, 20 was the bottom.
Exactly. I've seen it where 18 is the bottom.
20.
And it's to the point where, like I said, I don't support those establishments. It's going to be a real special treat because I'm going to be cooking at home.
Guess what?
Be there.
Guess what? Just because the tip says 20% don't mean a doggone thing, because I can X that out. No tip. And I can give them that. I don't know. Because if I don't feel like adding it on my credit card, I don't.
Now, what about the massage place I went to? Yeah, I'm still mad about it. I said, we're about to do a whole show. I'm still mad about it. What did it have? $10 or more tip? Before I walked in the door, and they had that on there. So, and then you want me to pay prior to my service. No, I'm sorry. You coming over in this country, and then you want to tell me how things are going to be. That's a problem. So I walked in, and I looked, they were like, oh, okay. And then she tried to ring me out before I even went in, and then flipped around the sign that said tips. It didn't say appreciated. It just said tips $10 or more. And I said, wait, she was like, oh, okay. I said, wait a minute. I don't pay for services that weren't rendered. And she's like, oh, some people just like to pay first. No. I said, and this tip, you telling me I have to tip $10? So I went to turn and walk out. And she's like, no, it's just suggested when people ask how much should they tip. I said, you have a sign. I said, how do I know my service is going to be good? Because if it's not good enough, I'm not doing it. I said, how do I know that my services may supersede the $10 and you just put a cap on it? And she was like, well, that's what, when people ask, trying to justify, but I have a problem with you coming over here and dictating me and telling me about what I need to do and demanding what you want from me. But here's the thing. That's when we have to stop and say, no, I'm not giving you that. Good luck. You could go on back to where you were because you're already getting a tax break and starting a business over in this country. And we live in this country and they beating us over. But they beating us over the head to start a business. But you get it free. Like, come on. No. And that's that is with me not saying who I'm talking about. But people, it is your money. It's earned. You earned it. You know how hard you worked for it. And we just need to be more cognizant of what we are giving. And are you able to get it back? You know what I mean? And I'm just gonna rub my eyes.
So I just feel like it just goes back to, like I said, don't support those businesses, and buy black, shop black, all that good stuff. As far as the economics behind it, but yeah, just the service, the entitlement, expectation. It is. I would never sit here and spend money at an establishment that disrespected me or looked down on me.
Yes.
But there's a whole lot of black people that do that every day, every week. They're like, oh, he cussed me out, but you know what? Next time I go in there, he's still getting your money.
And that's the goal. That's the objective. That's the objective, to make your money.
You're still, you're still a part of the problem.
You're still feeding them.
Like, nitpick and be super particular and have super high expectations for a black-owned business, but you're okay being disrespected by a foreigner.
And that's something we got to stop.
Them be the ones that really, them and the Karens be the ones that be get in my car and show out, and I show out right along with them.
Well, we know you do. I'll probably just get in your car just to hear what you got to say.
And I found that when I go above and beyond on my way, sometimes, especially it be them doctors and a few others, them be the ones that don't give a tip. But then the ones that you don't think you're going to get a tip from,
you get the tip.
Give you a tip, and they give you a good tip. But I had some fool get in my car, and I was nice, and is the air too much? You want me to go one door up, one down, the air on, everything. I dropped them off, and I was like, you have a good night, sir. He said, you have a good night, too. Do you know that fool gave me a 1 cent tip? I was so mad. I, nicely emailed Lyft and was like, I don't appreciate that. Can you give him his 1 cent back? A penny.
But watch this out. Okay. But were you expecting more? Yes.
I wasn't expecting
You
anything.
had to if you ain't want the penny.
No, I wasn't expecting anything. It was a slap in the face to give me a penny. I would rather you not give me a thing.
Right. I think because
give me the penny. Give me the penny. They add up.
And somebody was like, well, maybe he meant to put $1 in there. Maybe he did, but it was a penny. I would rather have not gotten a tip at all.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't
expecting. A penny for your thought.
I agree with Nick.
He really didn't want no penny for my thoughts because he'd had to get it. He would have gave me negative.
Well, you gave him your thought. You sat there and graded him. You gave him, he paid for a penny for your thought.
I was being real nice and everything.
Go ahead, Amber. I want to hear what Amber said. You said you agree with Nick.
I completely agree with Nick. I think, people use money as, as a means of communication and as leverage. And I think it's definitely a slap in the face, unless it was accidental. In which case, I don't know if you can message them and be like, did you mean to give me a 1 cent tip?
Yeah, once we drop them off, we can't message them.
Well, that's good because you'll be to cuss them out. But let me say this. I had a friend, rest in peace, and I used to go over to her house. And when you said the doctors don't give, and I would go over to her house, beautiful home. And, if you're from Youngstown, like if you lived in the park back then, you were like it. Okay? Beautiful home, huge. However, the house was empty and the heat was off. So sometimes, we tend to look at the exterior, and I learned this. This was in 1990. At that moment, I learned at that time that, everybody who lives this way, and like the exterior, this big, beautiful home, lawn looking lovely, but we were studying, and we had to sit in this one small room, and it had a space heater. And I'm like, it's cold. And then, I wanted some water. She's like, you can go in the refrigerator. The refrigerator had water and condiments. But there was nothing else there. Now, at my house, which was significantly smaller, we had heat. I could turn it up, down, whatever. You know what I mean? And the refrigerator was always full. So when she would come to
refrigerators,
okay, listen, right? But when she would come over to my house, I'm like, well, you can. And she always wanted to come to my house, and it was like, boom, and we just was chilling. Here you go, blah blah. Blah. But when you look at what their job is, and just think that they're the ones that have the money, they're not always the one that have the money because their money is spent. What is it? More money, more problems? And it's like, why is it spent? Because your peers, you're looking at a status now. So it's like, oh, we live in this big, beautiful home, but don't come in, go, we ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean? Or you have, I mean, it was empty, but the exterior was amazing, but the inside was empty. Where you had, my small little cottage that we lived in, I call it a cottage, the exterior wasn't amazing, but the interior was full of the needs. So it was like you had this person that works here, and then it's like, okay, are their children's needs being met? You know, education, they had them in the best school, so that's probably why. They paid for them to go to a good school. I'm public school educated. Okay? And it's like, all right, they went to the best schools, you paid for that, and you had to cut costs somewhere else. Where over here wasn't a cut cost, and I got the best education. I got to say, shout out to Youngstown City Schools. I graduated in 91, shout out, boom, there you go. And I had a great time. But when you look at people, even in school, and everything looks to par, everything may not be up to par. You know what I'm saying? So I learned that lesson younger. But when you say that the doctors are the ones, they probably couldn't even afford to tip. We got a comment here. You want to go ahead, Amber, and then I'm going to put this comment up as soon as I find it. Look, go ahead. There you go. Go ahead.
So Salvage of YouTube said, I be giving $1 tip because I keep it 100. It's hard out here for a pimp, but I do tip well when I can.
Now, see, now that's somebody, she said $1 tip because she keeps it 100. Mm-hmm. Giving, and she's giving something that maybe they may not have. And it's like, I want to give something. Mm-hmm. Now, when you can, and when you can't, you can't. Now, I got to say, I ended up tipping the girl yesterday who I interviewed. She didn't know she was being interviewed. I ended up tipping her. I tipped her on the credit card. She got tipped from the person that was across from me. And then I put in an additional 20. So her tip was more than the bill. Mm-hmm. But the reason for that was when she shared everything. And I just feel like it is not the customer's fault or responsibility to pay your bills. The customer came in for a meal. I came in for a meal, not to pay your bills. You need to find another job or have a staff meeting and say, we're not doing this. And we need to figure something out. And she shared when she sees the busboys that she has to tip with. She shared that when she sees them sitting around doing nothing, that she gets upset. I said, well, y'all need a staff meeting and this is what you need to say. I can bust my own tables. And then I can keep it. Now, I did what you did, Nick, as well. I asked for somebody's Cash App. And this young girl, she was like looking nervous. I said, no, I just, I might want to gift you with something. She was in school. I said, you're in school? I got her Cash App. Here you go. Boom. We cashed apped her very well. A check. It was myself and my sister. So we cashed apped her whole check. Because she had to split with the cook, the person that rang us up. But she was doing the work. And it's like, and I think that's unfair. Go ahead. What you got?
No, but I feel like I think it's reasonable to split your tips amongst everyone because everyone is contributing to the operation of the business. But at the end of the day, it's the establishment's fault for not paying their staff a living wage to where they're not like, oh, I need a tip so bad it can't function without a tip. But it's supposed to be gratuity.
That's the restaurant industry in a whole, and it's up to the powers that be that's making the minimum wage laws and everything else to make these restaurants pay these people more, especially because it's bad when you, and that's the thing, the cooks get more, the bus person gets more, the hostesses get more, they get paid more per hour than the waitresses do, and the waitresses are the one that's doing the majority of the work. So it is up to the lawmakers to make a law that makes these restaurants across the board pay more.
Exactly.
It's not the establishment. The establishment is going by the laws. I mean, yes, they can, because it's their business, decide to pay more if they want to, but the majority of them aren't going to do it if you don't make them.
Exactly.
Well,
and then the other thing, as far as like you were talking about your doctor friend that you were sitting with, it was it sounded to me like she was house poor basically, and I definitely can relate to that because I'm in that situation right now with my own kid going to high school and everything. It's like everyone is on a budget and you just have to pick and choose what matters to you. I remember there was a story that went viral where it was like an iPhone exploded and caught on fire. And it made the news, and people were so shocked. Well, it turned out the iPhone was like 15 years old or something. And people were like, it's impressive that it still works. They left it on the charger, too. They overcharged it, and it was old, and it exploded. They were like, oh, they should be embarrassed for having such a having such an old phone. But they took a video of it exploding, and you could see the rest of their house. And it was immaculate. It was like, it could be in a magazine. And I said, these people obviously got money. And the cell phone is just something that they chose not to invest their money in. And they obviously chose to invest their money in their house. So it's
the whole house about to catch on fire because of that investment. Or non-investment.
because they would sit here holding on to a cell phone. But I just feel like it goes back to, like you're saying, like, you don't know what anybody's finances are, especially from the outside looking in. And then you do have to, a lot of times, make choices about what you're going to spend money on.
You do. And I spend money on personality. I told you, I tip based off the personality. If you have a great... Huh?
Yeah, that was
that penny, that was not cool. That was not cool. However, he tipped a penny, and guess what? There are people in, and you have those who have maybe they have like a personal thing. Let's talk about the one lady I know. Look, you said a lot of these men. Let's talk just females. There's families out there that specifically ask for black babysitters. Mm-hmm. Specifically because they want that status. And it's like, oh, they're not racist. And this story was shared with me with a coworker. A coworker was telling me about what happened, and she was saying her sister works for this family, and her sister was like, they're not racist because they all come through for her and they give her all this stuff. She said, but when she went over there the one time to help because her sister wasn't there, she heard how they were talking. They were making jokes. And I was like, see, and she saw it, and she was uncomfortable with it. You can't call somebody the N-word and you're not black. Yeah. So y'all got that. And she got that. And she's like, what are you doing? She's like, they're not racist. They're just talking. She's like, she knew that clearly they felt comfortable saying it. And then when she talked to her sister, it was around her sister they were comfortable saying it. But that's the sister, and I guess they thought it was okay to say certain things around her as well. But like I know, you have certain people that get together and be like, oh yeah, we have a maid. Just like the story I shared with my one friend, her friend. And the girl said right there, she was like, well, I'd rather just take care of her children because I have a place to stay, because it's like an in-law suite. I have a place to stay, and she gives me everything that I need, and she gives me the car to do whatever it is I want, and she didn't want to further her education. And we were shocked, but she was comfortable. And that's why I go back to, we have to know our history. You got to see what's going on down in Mississippi. They're passing it. The lynching. Tennessee too. But they got one in
Mississippi too.
Oh baby, Mississippi has passed. And see, that's the problem with our people. Our people are, when we wake up, it's already done. And how often do we say, listen, y'all got to take heed, see what's going on? Just like in the Youngstown area, before state took over the school system, before that happened, we were out there talking about it. And then once it happened, then people want to come out. Well, it's too late. You got to pay attention to what's going on around you. Why I was talking about the Confederate flag, 2 weeks ago? And I was like, they want to take things away. I'm like, no, keep this stuff here because it's a reminder. Is it a good time? No, it's not. but it lets you know where you don't want to go back to. And what we're doing is eliminating what was and putting what we feel is new, and we'll be right back in the same boat.
Me and a young lady were talking about that yesterday that I was dropping off, and she said she was going to watch the show today. But we were talking about that they are trying to erase Black history.
Oh, yeah, in Florida.
And like you said, and I was telling her that you said that there, and like if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it. So we were talking about, and we were talking about the fact that they are trying to pull that from school.
Yeah.
Out of history books. And she was saying a lot of people do not know that guess where the majority of the history books or the school books are made?
Texas.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Like, so
the same place that they didn't even know we were free.
Exactly.
Remember, they didn't know the slaves was free. So they knew, but they didn't tell us.
Right. They're trying to strip us of everything.
To go back. Now watch this. If everything is all inclusive, and yes, but we got a plan. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just speaking generally. Everything's inclusive and there's a plan. You got a group of people that there's a plan. Look it up, people. I'm not going to go there. Y'all look it up. In Mississippi, where it can't be infiltrated, but you want to be placed in a Black neighborhood where nobody's able to vote. They can't vote you. It's like a dictatorship. Y'all better look it up now. It already passed. It has another, what was it? I think it went through the state. It went through the state already. It passed through the state. Come on, people. Educate yourself and stay focused. Stay focused. Have a good time, but be focused. Like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm not going to sit here and just go all in and just be mad at the world. No, the world is revolving. The world is constantly revolving, and some of us is just on for the ride, and some is trying to make changes. So you got to make changes. But let's get back to the topic. To tip, not to tip. You got something? Go ahead, Nick. You want something to add to that?
I was going to talk about the history part. That's why I was saying it is up to us. Those of you, us because I'm an auntie and godmother, to teach our children 365 days a year because they are trying to strip that from being taught in schools. We have to teach that at home and start teaching it at a young age. So these babies know when they grow up what to expect, what not to expect, what to look for. It has to start at home. And the young lady was saying it's a shame that a lot of grown folks don't know their history.
Well, a lot of people don't because they're coasting through. They just, let me go on for the ride, the roller coaster ride. Is it going to be a high, low? Is it going to be a carousel? Exactly. Or is it going to be a roller coaster? That's where we have to go with that. But I'm glad you said that. Yes, we do have to teach at home because we already know. Watch this. In Missouri, did y'all know they already have 4-day school weeks?
No.
4 years.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years. Their whole school district.
If you look at how America is competing compared to other first world nations or whatever, we're behind academically across the board. And then even in smaller countries like Sweden and Switzerland, they only have 4-day school weeks.
Yes.
Like kids don't need to be in school that much.
Right here.
And they don't need.
Right here in America, Missouri, the school, it's been 4 years. But people aren't paying attention to that. And if you look at it, I'm going to be real, like in this area here, we call it what? Hybrid? Or professional day? That's like 4 days. 4 days of school. So here's the thing. It's up to the parents to educate. But let me stick to this topic real quick. To tip or not to tip. If you are on a date and your date does not tip, your man don't tip. Because I don't know what like female and female thing. I hold men more accountable. I do. I'm like, I hold you to a higher standard. I expect you to do. Do you go on a second date if the man does not tip on the first date?
I'm going to be honest.
Please.
I don't pay attention. So I assume he pays. I mean, he definitely pays, but I'm assuming he tips.
Yeah.
And then some guys will say, oh, we'll ask you like, well, how'd you feel about the service? I'm like, oh, it's good, blah, 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 whatever. But I'm not looking at the receipt bill that hard.
Oh, well, you're not supposed to as a lady.
Exactly.
Look,
so
male. Let me take y'all to school real quick. Males, school 101. Ladies. if you grab the check, expect to pay the check.
If you ask the man out, expect to pay the check.
Amen.
So that's what you think. Okay, wait, let's answer this question though. Answer this question first and then we're going to move to that. If you're on the first date and he does not tip, do you go on the second date?
Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Him not tipping.
Go ahead.
It's not a significant factor. More than likely, it would be a compounding factor in other things that I didn't care for and that would lead to not going on a second date. But it would not be a primary reason. Okay,
Nick, you want to answer this?
Cherie Armstrong Facebook said nah.
And see, I want Cherie Armstrong from Facebook. If you don't tip, you're not a tipper. You know what that says to me?
It kind of indicates that maybe they're cheap or stingy.
See, that's what I get. I get just that. I get, guess what, Mel? You ain't getting nothing.
Yeah.
And you got to ask for it.
Cheap or stingy with you, then that's when you move to the next.
But I feel like it's a precursor to that.
It is.
That they're miserly. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, especially after the honeymoon stage is over, it's going to come towards you.
Go ahead. You want to go with...
Cherie Armstrong on Facebook said, if I got to tell you the tip is going to be slow.
That's a deal breaker for me. And you might be the nicest person.
He would tip. And sometimes he'd be like, well, I got the bill.
But that's a personal thing. But I'm just saying in general, though. In general. That's because, like, if I'm... And most times... Let me finish this part first. If you don't tip and you're taking me out... See, that's the impression stage. You know what I mean? I'm trying to impress this individual. And if you telling me off top that you don't tip, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. That ain't working. Because that tells me that you're going to be a miser and it's going to be an issue if I want something because I'm going to have to actually ask and you're not just a giving person. That's where I'm at. Now, if the service is bad, I feel that you should still tip. The guy on a date, you should still tip. 9 times out of 10, they paid the bill. We tend to just go ahead and just pay the tip. That's usually how it does. That's how it goes. Like with me, I'll just go and like boom. And then guess what happens? No. Don't worry about it. But that's me giving. That's why I'm like, don't block my blessing. But I tip for personality. I'm not going to a drive-through and tipping you. Don't give me, here you go. A tip for what? Because you said hello. That's expected. Hello, how are you? Have a good day. I pulled up here to receive something. I paid for an item, an object. I expect to receive that object. Now, if you want to leave it on the shelf, I could grab it myself, which is when they put it on the counter. That's what we're doing. So help me out here. Stop. So I'm not tipping if nothing was put into it. I'm being honest.
How about leaving the tip at a buffet? Dude, I got my own food. You just brought me a drink.
Now, that's on there, and that's true.
I agree.
That's true.
All you did was bring me a drink. I could have grabbed it. Like some of these other places, they got fountains. Just give me the cup. When I pay, get my plates and I get my own drink.
So I know which place you're talking about because usually they do.
A glass of water for.
So you tip the busboy, whoever's cleaning up the table at the end. No. Or no? No? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I don't leave it. I'll
because they got to clean the table up for the next customer. What the hell I look like? No.
Go ahead, AmberDee.
Salvage One, Salvage YouTube said, we not grabbing no checks, not this way.
I heard that. Don't grab the checks. Look, don't look at it. If you look at it, you pay it. That was how I was brought up.
Right. No, I don't grab the check. However, if I ask, come on, let's go out to eat, then I pay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you ask to go on a date, if you ask to go, but that's the truth though. If I invite you, I expect to pay. And I have a problem with the people that say, hey, come to my birthday party and you come and it's at a restaurant and you got to pay for your own. That's not a birthday party. That's meat for dinner, meat for lunch.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's a birthday dinner.
It's a birthday dinner if everybody got their own check. But if I'm inviting you to dinner, there you go. Like, it's paid for. Now, I did have a birthday dinner one year, and some people who were invited were shocked. They were surprised that they didn't have to pay. They were there. Really?
Yeah, I would have been.
Yeah, I'd be shocked too. Because that's a whole lot of money. And to me, a celebration is just about the togetherness. And
so that's why you have to say it's a birthday dinner. Everybody, you know, a birthday dinner. Pay for your own dinner. Just come and join me.
Right.
It was a birthday party. It was a birthday dinner. It wasn't you pay. It was for me. But guess what? It was really nice. And then people came. I got birthday gifts and stuff. But I had some people that were really surprised, but they were new. They were new to my circle.
Yeah.
Which was
like, you have to get to know Mel. If Mel expect you to pay for something, she'll let you know. Oh, we doing this, but other than that, yeah, like,
come and have a good time.
You just gotta know how Mel operates.
So it's just like, boom, there you go. I was like, oh, okay. You know, but my friends, they have the money to pay for their own if need be. You know what I'm saying? But I had a good time.
And that birthday party you had 2 years ago, I had a ball at the selfie place. I had a ball. However, I missed the 80s dress, but you know, I still pulled it off.
It was all good. It was all good. All good.
Like, I was supposed to dress like a Barbie for real?
Yeah, it was fun.
But listen, I did have the blonde wig though. I was Miss
That's what it was. It was boom. Amber, you was ready with your leg warmers.
Definitely ready.
Listen, let me put this out here right now. I got the big 5-0 this year, and I am throwing it all the way back. So I'm putting this out here right now because I need to know. I have to have a head count. I do. I'm throwing it all the way back. A basement party.
What?
A 80s basement party.
Okay, let me go.
So just get ready. Just get ready. Taking it all the way back. And, you know, I'm all about the experience. So if you don't want your hand stamped or an X with a black marker, you remember that X with the black marker?
Yeah,
you in?
With the black marker.
Okay, you in? We gotta have a great time. So that's, you know, on my birthday.
Give me the X. I want the souvenir.
You want the X. So yeah, we're gonna have a great time. Big day. Do what we do, especially with experiencing everything that we experience. So you guys going on the second date for the tip. If you don't tip, second date, we already know what some of the YouTubers said no. It was like, no second date if he don't tip. Nick, you said you all right, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go on the second date. Now, however, after the second date, if ain't no tip given, I'm going to be like, you ain't going to give a tip? Bruh, what's the problem? But yeah, there ain't no big deal breaker. First date.
Go ahead.
It would be a conversation starter. It would be like something I would file into the memory bank of on the con side. You know what I'm saying? As I'm tallying pros versus cons.
And then they wake up and want to know why you left. Well, what did I do? Oh, it was a plethora of things you didn't do. Remember on the date, they were like, you held on to that for a year?
Yeah. So, I mean, I probably still would, but it would definitely be like one of those things like red flag or just something to keep in mind. That
they don't tip. And this is not going to go anywhere.
And then more than likely, you're going to see other indications of their not tipping ways in other aspects of your relationship.
Absolutely. Like if you guys get a house together, you know he's not buying the furniture. It's like, I got the house, I'm not buying the furniture, so that's on you. That's how I look at that. I'm always reaching. Think about it. If he got the meal, but he don't have the tip. He has the house, but he doesn't have the furniture in there. I'll buy the refrigerator, but I'm not buying the food. We want it all, fellas. We want it all.
I mean, it's understandable if he's not in a position to do both. But if he is in a position and he's just electing not to, I don't know. That's low-key weird.
Okay, well, here we go. Go ahead to the comment.
Salvage of YouTube said, barely getting a first one.
The first date.
Yeah.
Okay. See? And that's the time to impress. So is it...
Yeah.
So is it fair to say with the tip or not to tip? That is the question. Are you tipping based on... What are you tipping based on?
The service and the personality.
And that's exactly what it's supposed to be. That is supposed to be on the service. It's supposed to tip on the service. I want to get this information out. What was it? 2019, I believe it was. Don't quote me on it because I'd be having brain fog, real talk, after I had COVID. They were voting to raise the Wage Act. Remember that? To $15. Remember we talked about that? By 2024. Have you guys heard anything?
No.
So we got to 2024 to see what's going on. And the according to Politico.com, you guys check that out, Politico, that's CO. They were talking about the whole waitressing thing, the whole tip thing. And I want to read this from this expert. It says, the share who would benefit from the Raise the Wage Act is far larger than the share of white workers who benefit, 38% compared to the 23%. You're probably like, okay, wait, let me read the whole thing. And that was from Congressional Budget Office report finds that a $15 minimum wage would have tremendous benefits for low-wage workers of all races and ethnicities. And that's according to, like, your waitresses, the people that get their money off of their service. But those who don't give good service, because that's what tipping is for, they just don't deserve it. I mean, is it just me to feel that way?
No, it's not. It's not. And see, my brother, he go to ignorant route. I'm gonna leave him a tip, all right. He leave him a message and tell them find a new job because your attitude is horrible.
And it matters. Did you not want to work? The girl did tell me this real quick. She said, sometimes I understand people have bad days, so you can't really count that day. I said, yes, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can. We have a comment. Go ahead.
You have a bad day.
Go ahead, AmberDee.
Queener Shirley of Facebook said, yes, I am tipping.
Okay, and go ahead.
So Salvage one.
Salvage wrong one. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
So 100 Sherry Childcare of YouTube said, right, date yourself in the meantime and tip.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, look, we got it. Look, tip. But if you got bad service, I'm not tipping. Because when she said yesterday, she was saying sometimes, some waitresses may have a bad day. Yeah, but you got to leave that at the front door. I didn't give that bad day to you. Remember I told you I went to the Dunkin' Donuts and the girl in the drive-thru, and she was like, what's your order? Or something real, like her attitude was like, I don't even want to be here today. Like,
and I bet you it's the same one that always have an attitude. Guarantee you. Because she the only one that I've ever had a problem with.
I don't even know who she was, because you know what I did? I said, never mind. And she's like, oh, you don't want to order? No, I told y'all, I need a cheerful giver. I need you to make my stuff with love. If you got an attitude, I don't need you slamming my cup around. I don't need you pissed off. You might spray some spit up in my stuff. I don't know. You know how people, they be like homing and humming and talking under their breath and making my little
sticker in the front window where she just take the order. They don't have her doing them. But yeah, because I happened to pull up to get my order after I paid her and get my order. And it happened to be the sister that was in the window. And I was like, I don't know what's wrong with the chick back there, but she got a whole attitude. She go, oh, that's my sister. I'm so sorry. I'll let her know about it. I was like, and I told her, I said, tell your sister if she don't like her job to find a new one. Or if she was having a bad day, she should have called off.
Okay. Let me say this real quick about tipping. I just got to put this out here. I should have ring my bell. Ding, ding, ding. School's in. if you know your history, you remember like after emancipation that the lobbies, remember they used to, the lobby demanded the right to hire newly freed slaves. Remember after, do y'all remember that part of it? Where they would hire newly freed women to actually be waitresses. I'm using air quotes for the listening audience because they didn't have to pay them anything at all. They didn't pay them anything, and they lived entirely off of the idea of tipping. So I want to put that out there in case people didn't know that part of it. So it does matter, especially if if you're into the history of where it derived. However, you don't see a lot of us. I wasn't a slave, but you don't see a lot of us, the slaves, descendants, being waiters and waitresses. It's flipped around, and now it seems like the whole narrative of tipping and where it derived from, instead of people being grateful for it, they're getting an attitude and expecting a tip. And be like, I can't believe they didn't tip. We got to do better. Got to do better. All right, here we go. I'm just going to put up these comments. What's your thoughts overall? Do you have any last words for the people who expect a tip?
Get a better job. It's not tip based.
Okay. What do you have to say, Nick? Advice for
make sure you're giving exemplary service. If you would like a tip, don't expect it.
Okay. And Amber, do you want to read that comment?
Sure. So Art Baldwin II of Facebook said, to work in a service position, you have to love people.
Good.
You really do.
Good, bad, or indifferent. You can't have, it's like any job. Just imagine nurses, doctors.
And they are. They got attitudes.
You don't get a tip. And I would hope that it's exemplary service that you're getting. Sometimes, they say bedside manners, but us nurses, speaking for the nurses out there, we don't get a tip. Don't even look for a tip. I just like to see you smile. That's my whole thing. Let me see you smile. And I never forget, I had a guy, this wasn't that long ago, he needed his shoe tied, right? He gonna go like this. And for the listening audience, he pointing at his feet and with his one finger. To tell me, I said, use your words. And so he's telling me what he need, and he looked at me, and I looked back at him, and then I looked at my finger, and he said, what are you looking at? I said, I'm looking to see if you're my husband. I said, sometime or another, we must have got married. You need me. You just pointing, making directives. He started laughing. He was like, he said, oh, I'm sorry. He was like, can you tie my shoe? I said, I sure can. I said, I can handle that. Right. So it's just like the whole, it's all about personality and it's how you approach someone. You know what I mean? And don't expect certain things to be done, to Nick's point. Don't expect exemplary service. Accept it, but don't expect it. That's today's footnote. Hey. I'm gonna give you guys a quote though. But I did like your advice. I truly do. I truly, truly do. I thank you guys for coming on and kicking it with us. Always, right? Always, yes. Always. Okay. And then you got to ask, you be having different questions as far as like, is it really just the tip? Is it?
I think as a whole society, it's more than a tip. I feel like it's based on looks too.
Is it? Presentation, girl. They can't be looking a mess.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, how you dress is how you be addressed. You up there got a wrinkled uniform on and I did see that, and it does matter. All right, today's footnote. The tipping point is that magic moment when an idea, trend, or social behavior crosses a threshold. Tips and spreads like wildfire. I like that one. That's from Malcolm. I can't see Gladwell, I believe it is. Yeah, Malcolm Gladwell. So I like that. So it's all about the service, just like you lovely lady said. Hey, my people, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. I truly appreciate it. And that is below. Also, if you would like to donate and support Shop Talk with Mel, you can do so via Cash App and PayPal at Shop Talk with Mel. And I said everything was alleged on our Hot Topic, so I ain't got no money. Don't be coming for me. Because I really, really don't. And make sure you guys, again, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Your girl trying to get the numbers up. If you are listening on your favorite podcast, understand that we come on at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock on your favorite podcast. Check us out. Subscribe. Share. Comment. I like it. Find you, embrace you, most importantly, always love you. And until next week, people, you know what it is. 1, 2, 3. Shop Talk. One day, we will get it. It really was. It was close.